welcome back to the Beauty Birds podcast, where your birds, Tara and Becca, get together, talk about makeup, sometimes have drinks. I said those things out of order, so that's where we're at today.
It's another Daytime Bird exclusive.
I'm thoroughly enjoying the daytime recording.
I am too. I also have a drink today. It is my tea. It's still the Trader Joe's chai tea.
I just have water in a insulated cup. Nothing wild today.
Do you want to talk about anything on your face?
Yes, I'm wearing for the first time the new Rare Beauty foundation, which is Selena Gomez's brand. I'm in the shade 150C, which I guessed on the internet and is like the most perfect match. I'm very pleased with myself. Super impressed with the foundation on first application. I'm also wearing, oh God, knocking things over. I'm also wearing the Rare Beauty, what is it actually called? Matte lip cream thing. I don't think it's for me. Okay. I'm wearing the shade Inspire, which is supposed to be red. It's a bit more like pinky coral.
Selena's red, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be Selena Gomez's signature shade. The texture is very, what is it? The NYX like soft matte lip cream, that kind of like whipped moussey texture.
Oh yeah.
So somebody said that everything in the brand is designed to be like user-friendly or functional for people with disabilities, for people with mobility issues. Selena Gomez has lupus and her hands shake a bit. So like everything's got that soft touch packaging. The foundation has the ball on top to make it easier to open. Like the blush is a liquid that's super pigmented, so you can just like do one dot and blend it out. The lipstick feels like it fits in with that mission, but it's like not quite right for me. It's a little sheer, like it's a lot more of a forgiving formula, which like I understand the value of, obviously. But I like my liquid lipstick to be a little bit more like packing a punch and a bit more opaque, and it's just a little sheer for me. I felt like I had to apply a lot of layers. So yeah. Foundation A+ on first try, lipstick not sure it's for me, but those are two of the things on my face today.
So I actually don't have any celebrity brands on my face today, just because I was really bad at planning this one.
Wait, we didn't actually say that that's what we're talking about.
Exactly. I was going to say, what a great segue, though. Speaking of celebrity brands, today I think we're going to talk all about celebrity and influencer brands and kind of the impact that they have on the beauty community and just the brands overall, and our feels about them.
I think we both have a lot of feels, good and bad, and there are a lot of famous people making makeup.
There are. I saw it on Reddit one day, but somebody had commented that celebrity makeup brands or the new celebrity perfumes were like in 2002, you couldn't walk into a Macy's and not get bombarded by like Britney Spears perfume and like everybody's perfume. But now it's, everyone's throwing blush at you.
I think that's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And we have that added layer now too, where it's not just like A-list celebrities and pop stars, but also YouTubers and like professional makeup influencers that also have their own lines now.
Exactly. And they're not tethered to like a Macy's or Sephora either. A lot of influencers just release their brand and it's available online, or like some celebrities just release their brand and you have to go to their website to get it. Although a lot of celebrity brands, I feel like, have a better shot at being at a Sephora or an Ulta, but that's not to say that, like Kylie Jenner's brand started on KylieCosmetics.com.
Yeah, but now it's like if you walk into Ulta, it's like the entire front table is
they hit
Kylie.
You with it.
You said you had a celebrity brand product that you do own and like and wanted to talk about?
Yeah, so I'm actually looking through our list of we wrote down some celebrity and influencer brands. From the list, obviously, aside from Kat Von D, which I know we both have and had, the only other celebrity brand was Flower Beauty. I think that is, oh my God, why do I always forget her name? Drew Barrymore.
Yes, it is Drew Barrymore's brand.
Drew Barrymore's brand. It's at Ulta, and it's actually really affordable. This is the liquid eyeshadow, and it's in like a nice olivey camo green,
Of
super
course.
glittery. I know. And it was only like $10, I think, which is a really good deal for something like this, and it's a pretty good one too.
Yeah, I think Flower Beauty is meant to be like in the fairly affordable price bracket. It's at Ulta, not at Sephora. I actually haven't tried anything from the brand, but I've definitely heard like overwhelmingly positive things and like
Yeah,
heard it compared to Wet n Wild a lot, which I also know that you love.
I do love Wet n Wild, and that's the other thing. Like Flower Beauty, I don't. I guess we'll touch on this, but it's one of those brands where I don't see it and immediately associate it with the celebrity behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just see the products and evaluate from there.
I think that there's definitely value to that. I do own a couple of products from like celebrity owned or famous people owned beauty
Yeah,
brands, mostly Kat Von D, or rather now it's KVD Vegan Beauty because she's fucked that up and is no longer involved with the brand. But when it first started, like was a really big deal. And then I also have a couple things from Fenty, which is Rihanna's brand, through Kendo, which is the cruelty-free arm of LVMH, which is the company that owns Sephora.
They also own Rare Beauty, right?
I'm not sure actually, but they do own Bite Beauty and Marc Jacobs Beauty.
Okay. Um, yeah, I had a point
I'm
there,
gonna
but
look up who owns Rare
I
Beauty. Who owns Rare Beauty? Um, I think it is somehow in partnership with Sephora, but I don't think it's part of Kendo.
Okay. Oh, I also at one point, I might still have it. I had a travel size highlighter of Fenty, like the roll on one. It came in like a sample pack.
Um, I have a couple of the cream
Oh
things.
yeah.
The cream bronzer is like has been one of my favorite products this
Yeah.
summer.
Okay, so yeah, let's get started with I guess the first couple of topics that we had, which was why do famous people keep making makeup?
We talked about this a little bit in our like text planning for this episode. And it's one I think I have stronger feelings than you do. But in the list of why do famous people keep making makeup, I really want to talk about Alicia Keys,
Yeah.
who as a person, as a musician, I've kind of always liked. Like
Yeah.
probably since I was a teenager, I remember like early stuff before she, not to like, I liked her before she got famous, but I had been listening to her for a very long time. And then a couple years ago, she was like, this is not cool. I don't want to wear makeup anymore. Which, like,
Yeah.
fine, you're entitled to do that. Makeup should be a thing that you wear because you want to, not because you're obligated to do so.
Right.
But then, like, a year later, she launched a makeup brand. And now I'm like, you just told all of us that you're like above wearing makeup, but now you're trying to sell me makeup, and that feels shitty.
It does feel shitty. I don't know if I can really like defend the action. However, I do think that maybe I want to give her the opportunity to be a creative director on the project. Like maybe she really enjoys makeup but just hates wearing it because I have those days. Um, I want to see what she puts out into the world before I gatekeep and tell her that she shouldn't be making us makeup because she doesn't wear makeup.
I mean, I'm not trying to gatekeep and say like you shouldn't do this, but like it's not working on me and I don't want to buy it.
Yeah, I want to see it. I'm curious because I do like Alicia Keys a lot, and I think that's half my bias. Because
So,
another thing that I had on there was Kim Kardashian West's brand,
mm-hmm.
and you put in all caps, what? But I also, when thinking about celebrity makeup, wanted to remove the people from the brand and just look at the products. And I feel like her products make more sense than a lot of other celebrity brands.
My eyes just rolled out of my head.
Like I personally wouldn't buy them, and I don't think I would buy them for somebody, but I think her palettes are well organized, well released. The packaging is elegant, and I think that there is a market for what she is selling. And it's not just the people that are obsessed with Kim Kardashian West, it's the people that go towards more neutral glam.
I feel like now I have to look up and see what her products look like. Honestly, I sort of forgot Because like all of the Kardashians have their own makeup lines, basically.
Pretty much.
Is this supposed to be like competition with Kylie?
I don't think so. I think it was like,
Or I guess she's doing mostly like complexion stuff.
her audience seems like a very different audience than who would be going for Kylie.
That's true.
Because it really does feel like older and more practical makeup as opposed to like the flashy lip kits, glitter jars, the new like Sailor release where it's like glitter in a pan and a Sailor version of Kylie Jenner.
I did not like how that looked.
I wasn't a big fan of that. I also don't like when celebrities like put themselves on the makeup.
Yes. Okay, I see what you're saying with the KKW line. It's pretty I don't know if chic is the right word, but like I can understand that the packaging and the style could appeal to someone.
Yeah.
But I'm not that someone.
And I will also give her this, even though she is not the person doing her makeup, it is her style of makeup. So it's not that far out where like Alicia Keys is like, hey, don't wear makeup, but buy mine. It was more like, this is what I like to wear, and like, you know, I kind of want you guys to see it too. Even if it's a cash grab, it makes sense.
She does have like a collection and a palette with Mario, who is actually her makeup artist, right? So I remember when that came out, and I feel like, was that maybe one of the first things that she did with her brand?
No, I think that was the second one. Not Mario Badescu, wow. Makeup by Mario also did a palette with Anastasia Beverly Hills.
I remember that.
I still wish I bought that.
Was their palette with Amrezi like one of the OG, like before it turned into every YouTuber on the planet having their own brand? We started with like small collabs and then it really exploded. I think the first couple were like the Anastasia palette with Amrezi,
Jaclyn Hill with Morphe, the original one.
Jaclyn Hill with the Becca shimmering skin perfector things. That's what I remember.
Her first collab was with Morphe, and it was before like the big one from like 2 years ago. It was way back in like 2014.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't think she was even on my radar yet back then.
But yeah, she did one with Morphe. And then I know Kathleen Lights has been collabing with ColourPop since like the dawn of time.
I used to have the ColourPop lippy sticks, the Lumiere. That was like early days of these, you know, influencer collabs where not a ton of celebrities were already into makeup brands. Like Kat Von D has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
I remember some of that stuff from like maybe college, late high school.
Yeah, no, definitely. I remember seeing it definitely when I was in college. And that was like, I got in when it was like the very old plastic packaging, when it was still like, I want to say like 10 pan palettes, but they were like long, you know what I'm talking about?
Okay, hold on. I'm looking up, when did Kat Von D Beauty launch date? 2008.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that was my second half of freshman year, first half of sophomore year of college. Yeah, so you were in high school because you're a tiny little baby.
But yeah, so I feel like a lot of those original YouTubers started with like Morphe, ColourPop, and Anastasia Beverly Hills. And it kind of just exploded. And I don't blame celebrities for being like, there's this whole market that we have not even like explored yet. But I don't know, some of them just...
You wrote a really good question of why do some feel more authentic than others? And I think it's really like, does this match their style? Are they actually using these things? Like we said, Alicia Keys, that doesn't feel authentic to me.
Right.
It feels like a money grab.
That would make like a ton of sense.
I actually looked it up. Apparently it's supposed to be a lifestyle brand that she's launching like within e.l.f. or like part of e.l.f.
What?
I literally just looked it up while we were talking about it. But the ones that feel more authentic to me are like Victoria Beckham, not my
Yeah,
style at all, but she has like a very high-end luxury makeup brand, and
I
it's
agree.
super in line with like
Victoria
her
Beckham.
entire persona that she's built like since Posh Spice. She has like a high-end clothing brand that
Yeah,
like does a lot of runway and like fashion shows every season. So like her makeup line makes sense to me.
it does.
It's
I
out of my
agree.
budget. It's not really my style, but it feels authentic. It's like I believe that she loves this shit.
I do too, and that's kind of why I lumped Kim Kardashian West with that, because as much as we don't like the person, it feels the same way as the Victoria Beckham makeup does.
I can see that. It does seem like her style, and like I believe that those are things she actually likes and cares about. Um I also at the time like Kat Von D definitely felt uh it was both authentic and unique to what was available at the time.
Agreed.
And we've talked about it a little bit in past episodes of like for people like me, I was, late teens at the time, like very heavily into like punk and alternative music and like not what most young women my age were doing, or at least people that I knew. So when Kat Von D came out with her brand and it was all the packaging was very black and it was like very tattoo inspired, that was a big deal. Why did
Yeah,
she have to fuck it all up by being such a crappy person?
I know, because we did just talk about this, but like the newest release isn't punk rock at all.
I'm pretty bummed about all the new stuff.
I'm very disappointed. Um,
Um,
I have an unpopular, maybe popular opinion.
okay.
So Fenty Beauty, I feel like started out very authentic and it was really cool. Like the whole Trophy Wife collection was awesome. The gloss bombs, the liquid lipsticks, and I feel like some of the earlier releases were really cool. I feel like they're kind of not as cool anymore. It doesn't feel as authentic. It feels more like mainstream now.
I think the growth is definitely undeniable. I think it has gone more mainstream, but also the cream blushes and bronzers that just came out earlier this year, like I don't own anything like that. So that was really exciting to me.
Okay, I'll still keep it because it's in our good category. I do believe that Fenty, uh, the celebrity brand by Rihanna, brought more good into the world than bad.
Yes. Um and I do believe it seems like she's involved in that
Yeah,
process. I'm making like a total judgment call there. I don't actually know if that's true, but it seems like I believe that that's her brand. It's not a big jump for me to believe that like that's the type of product that she would put out.
yeah, that I agree. There was a couple of, I think it's like a couple of holiday releases that kind of just had me like, eh.
I feel that way about all the holiday releases in general. I feel like any reasonable decision making that brands have during the year just goes out the window come holidays. And we
Right.
have an episode on that coming.
Yeah,
Feelings are had.
but
It'll
like
be good.
I do have a lot more positive feels about Fenty than say like Lady Gaga's makeup brand,
I
which
think
I
that
think
one is a huge disappointment.
so that one is a topic in itself that I always want to talk about, but like can never find the right words because Lady Gaga is such a ridiculously cool person. Like her style is on another level. Her music is phenomenal. She is just such a personality and has so much creativity like radiating from her.
And I don't think her makeup line
Her
like
makeup has
reflects
none
that.
of that. It doesn't make any sense at all. It was the most like it felt like unique. The makeup company, not the not in like, you know.
YOU. It felt like the MLM thing where like
Yeah.
everything is it like wants to be edgy, but then it's almost like if I had to, project what I think onto Lady Gaga herself, I feel like she had all these big ideas and then somebody was like, no, people aren't going to buy this and like
No,
scared her
we
into
will.
going more neutral. And I think was it Kesha who also we were like expecting big things and then it was like, this is what you came out with?
I really liked her palette. I didn't buy it because I kind of have at least half of those shades, but I thought I liked it a lot.
I just, yeah, I love the idea of Lady Gaga having a brand. What's it called? House Laboratories?
Yeah.
HAUS. But then
Yep.
like every time I look at the products, I'm like, this is like a MAC holiday collection is what it looks
That's
like.
exactly what it feels like. And like her packaging could have been so cool. Like I think of her music videos with those shoes that were like, you know what I'm talking about? The heels that were like crazy. And like
Yeah.
all the dresses she's worn, like disco balls, and the makeup literally just looks like you like a Revlon 2008 release.
Yeah. And even like, is it Hourglass that is all custom packaging that they
Yeah.
designed?
So like,
Um,
what are you thinking of the Christian Louboutin ones?
no. I just meant
Okay.
like that she could have done a lot of cool things with packaging.
Oh, for sure. Like it's out there.
I'm pretty sure NARS packaging is like not a custom design.
Okay.
So like if for example, a lot of the liquid lipsticks, like a lot of brands use the same type of packaging.
Yeah.
But then other brands like have custom packaging for things. So Hourglass, I think all of their stuff is like custom that's unique to
Okay.
Hourglass. Whereas NARS has that like sleek black soft touch packaging
Right.
that is not custom. Like even if she had done it in that direction, I wish she had gone more NARS and less MAC.
Yes, I agree. And just like something as loud as her creativity, like that just wasn't it. So
Yeah.
that brand is on our bad list because it just doesn't feel authentic at all.
It
And
doesn't feel
maybe
authentic. It does feel like a cash grab.
it does.
Like,
And
and I
I feel like,
understand every brand wanting to have like the basic neutrals so that like anybody can start there, but like, come on, Lady Gaga.
we're not buying from Lady Gaga for neutrals.
Right? Like, if I was gonna buy something that Lady Gaga made, I want things like I don't know, when I think of cream bronzer and like Fenty has a good one, like that makes sense to me. I think
Right.
of like Sunkissed
So
and Barbados and like partying like in the sunshine and like the feeling makes sense.
the one thing that Lady Gaga's brand did release were those like face sticker things that were cool.
I don't
I don't know
remember.
if okay, it was like a lace looking like eye area sticker that you can like do makeup with, either like as a stencil and take it off, or like put it
Oh.
on, or leave it on there and like build around it. And that was kind of cool, but like that was just scratching the surface at what it could have been.
Yeah, I almost feel like is she actually the one behind this?
I don't know. It doesn't feel like it. So yeah, hers is not authentic, even though I wish it was. And I will still watch every single release, hoping that like she was just testing the waters, and like next year she's gonna be like, all right, I'm here. But like, I just don't think it's ever gonna happen.
Maybe. And like don't get me wrong, I love a nude lip liner, but I'm not going to House Labs to buy it.
No.
On the opposite of that is Linda Hallberg, who
Ooh,
she's a makeup
love.
artist, right? Like
She is.
she
She's a
is a makeup
Swedish.
artist. She grew a huge social media following. Her makeup brand has that like it's like glam and edgy at the same time. I can even if you just like look at her Instagram and scroll a little bit, you can feel like you believe that she's
Yeah.
involved in making those products and they feel authentic and they feel um they're like interesting and functional and like I believe that that's like one that's gonna last for a while.
I do too. Actually, Linda Hallberg is one of the first makeup artists I ever followed, and it's because I found all of her work on Pinterest, and I found myself like saving it to my boards of like makeup before I even dove into YouTube or Instagram for beauty at all. And then when I found her,
I
I was like,
remember her stuff on Pinterest too.
she's the coolest person on this planet. Like her looks are really unique and like incredibly. She uses a lot of like glitter and color.
um I have not a lot. I have a set of her brushes that I got on Beauty Bay and
Oh
they're
yeah,
lovely. They're lovely and they like stand out in my collection because they're I don't know if duo fiber is really the right term, but like there's almost like a gradient in the color and the base of the
mhm,
brush, like the fibers are orange. And
right.
so like they stand out, they're unique, the handles are really slick or sleek rather. I don't know. I think that one is a good one.
Yeah, she just seems like another person that like pours her soul into her products and like truly believes in them.
Oh, she has mascara now.
She does have mascara, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Can
And I at
I
first liked her.
I want to talk about one on the bad list that I think deserves to be on the maybe list.
Okay.
The Manny MUA Lunar Beauty.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
You're right. I just don't really like him, so maybe that's clouding my
I
judgment.
don't like him all too much either. I've watched a couple of his videos, and I do think ever since that like Jeffree Star controversy he got himself into, he has grown as a person. Um, I don't know if you ever watched his like redemption video where he was like, "Yeah, that really sucked, and I'm a different person now."
No,
But
I try to watch as little of his stuff as possible.
that's the only video I really watched of his, and I was like, you know what? I respect that. I forgive him for what has occurred in his life.
I
Um,
guess my stuff is that it mostly feels like ColourPop.
so what I was going to say was, so his first release was that Life's a Drag palette,
Mm-hmm.
which was half neutral and half colorful, and I thought that was really thought out and felt very authentic.
That's fair. I do remember thinking that that was done fairly well. It looks like it's still available on his website. Um,
And then he's had other releases where the packaging is kind of gorgeous, like the Halloween release I think it was last year, where it was like a spell book. I think he has incredible packaging and really good intentions, but sometimes not the best color theory, if that makes sense.
I'm looking at those. I imagine that these are the two that you're talking about. You're right. The packaging is beautiful. The color stories are
Okay.
unfinished. I guess
Yeah.
my thing is that he's, I believe, a self-taught beauty influencer. He's not a
Mhm.
makeup artist. He's not a celebrity in like the traditional sense.
Right.
So asking me to spend $48 on your palette is like, hmm.
I agree with you there.
Whereas Drew Barrymore comes out with Flower Beauty that, I don't know, it feels more accessible. It's like, it almost seems like this is designed exclusively for people who are big fans of Manny MUA, and
It
it's
does feel
not
like merch.
accessible for like the average makeup lover, consumer, whatever. It does feel like merch.
It does feel like merch. And I agree. I think a lot of the influencer brands feel more like merch than makeup, because also on our list is Dominique Cosmetics.
Yeah.
Dominique, what's her last name?
I have no idea. I've
Last
literally
name?
never watched a single one of her videos. And then they were like, she's launching a makeup brand. And I'm like, I don't even know who this person
So
is.
I think she was one of the first to do it. So she kind of had like an
Oh,
edge, and it
it's
was like,
Kristen Dominique.
there we go. And it wasn't like a yawn, oh my God, another one. It was kind of like, oh, interesting. Let's see how this goes. That being said, I don't really find her products to be all too unique or anything like write home about worthy.
Yeah, so Dominique Cosmetics has the like stamp of her logo in each one. And the palettes are like $42 and $44.
Yeah.
Just, that's a lot of money for like me to pay for you to stamp product out of each pan.
Yeah, I think a lot of these influencer brands really just feel like merch. And like that also goes for Laura Lee Los Angeles, which was
I
a
didn't know
brand.
that was a thing.
Yeah, I don't know that she's really like, again, she's just on her own website, I think. And then I think she was on a couple of Boxy Charms, but it just feels more like merch. And like for that price, just sell me a sweatshirt.
Her products look a lot like she really liked Zoeva and stole all their ideas. Did she start this after the whole racist Twitter thing? Because that is
No,
ballsy.
we started it like just before. Real poor timing. So yeah, I think
The
we can lump a lot of influencers just together. Do we want to talk about Jaclyn Hill?
Oh God, what a failure. I feel for this woman. Like, I used to really like her and I wanted her to do well. And then she just has gotten so much in her own way repeatedly. And it's not good. I actually remember the video that I watched that I was like, no, I'm done.
Which one was it?
She was, I think it was like a what's in my bag video. And she was talking about some like herbal supplement that she takes.
Oh.
to help with her anxiety, which like supplements are valid. I take quite a few, but she basically phrased it as like, you don't need therapy. You don't need like prescription medication. You just need this herbal thing. And like, don't get me wrong, I take ashwagandha. It does help with stress relief stuff, but like I also have a therapist.
Yeah, I agree. I don't particularly enjoy when influencers try to tell you that your mental health can be cured with like herbs.
I feel like that might have been like the first big thing where she like said something wrong.
Yeah.
Also that she couldn't pronounce the word androgyny really bothered me. When like before we all knew how awful Jeffree Star was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was like the first big controversy, and then it just like her shit just kept getting in her own way over and over and over again.
That's the thing, like she can't accept the criticism, and it must be really hard. Like you got things flying at you from like every angle, and people are really, really mean. And I get that people comment on her weight, people comment on every little thing she does, but like when there's valid criticism, she's just like the haters.
Yeah. She was supposed to start this brand a couple years ago. I don't remember what happened, what the delay was, but she had
she gone through some shit. She got divorced.
She got divorced. She had a couple bad Morphe collaborations where like, I think maybe product quality was not very good. I mean, I feel that way about Morphe anyway, but it was particularly bad, I guess.
Yeah.
And so when she came out with her brand, finally, all this product had been sitting in a warehouse that may or may not have been temperature controlled for goodness knows how long, with like low quality,
thus sparking the fuzzy lipstick heard around the world.
Yeah, people had, there was like hair and like fuzz and like pieces of plastic in people's lipsticks, and I really like would have loved for this to go well for her.
The packaging was like spot on Jaclyn Hill.
Yeah, it felt authentic, but then when it flopped, I'm like, this also feels
authentic
for Jaclyn Hill.
Yeah, I agree. And like I wish that I don't think she gets lumped into like the Manny, Laura Lee, Dominique Cosmetics category, but I don't
might now.
But no, I don't think she does, because I feel like her brand does sit on like a different thing, but it's not in the same realm as like Kylie Cosmetics or Flower Beauty or any of those other ones.
Right, because those brands are successful.
Exactly.
I don't super like Kylie Cosmetics. I mean, the product quality is ColourPop with a huge markup because she's a Jenner Kardashian person.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of weird, like, sexualizing youth things in creepy ways that are really unnecessary. I think that we may have talked about some of that in one of our first episodes of like not good names in makeup products, of like sex and drug related references. I know she's had issues with like cooking her books and like trying to make it seem like they sell more than they do. So there's a lot of issues there. But like the collections are put together fairly well.
The collections are put together very well, and like the lip product she started with seemed very authentic. She basically built an entire empire on her fake lips anyway, so like her coming out with lip kits made a lot of sense.
It absolutely did. But that they were, what were they, $29?
Yeah, when she finally started selling like the lipstick and the liner separate, it made so much more sense, because then it was finally like a $15 liquid lipstick, which is so much more affordable than buying like a $30 lip kit.
Which like, I mean, really, a liquid lipstick and a lip liner, both full size, for $29 is actually a good deal. But the fact that at the time, I don't think they were doing returns.
Yeah.
There was nowhere to swatch them. So it was like, spend $30 and then deal with it.
And they were always sold out too.
They were always like, that was a really big ask for basically like riding on the coattails of her sister's sex tape fame.
Self-made billionaire.
A small loan from my father of $1 million.
Small loan of $1 million, my favorite. But yeah, I think once we take away the person from that, another brand that made sense was Kylie.
But
As
should
much
we take away the person?
it depends. I feel like some brands you can take away the person, some brands you can't. Like Flower Beauty, you can absolutely take away the person, and it's like still
Yeah,
like,
if the person is good, you can not think about it. But
well,
like
no,
with
but like
KVD, you can't.
KVD, you still can't, even though she's not the person anymore. Jeffree Star, you can never because it's Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Rare Beauty, if you didn't tell me it was Selena Gomez, I could absolutely remove the person.
That's true. I think that's maybe part of my issue with Manny MUA because it's called Lunar Beauty. So it's like technically not like you could separate them, but then
Yeah,
it all does feel like merchandise.
it does.
Like merchandising his, like he's turning himself into the brand. And
Right,
like that feels different than like Linda Hallberg,
right.
who is, I mean, I guess the difference here is that Linda Hallberg is a professional makeup artist and Manny MUA is.
Something else that Linda Hallberg always did that I always noticed in her advertising of her brand, even though it was her brand, anytime she posted a story or a post or anything revolving around Linda Hallberg Cosmetics, she always did the like tagged in Instagram paid partnership with Linda Hallberg Cosmetics,
That's
even though it's her
smart.
own brand.
I mean, I think outside of the US,
Yeah.
having to say when something is a partnership or something is gifted, those laws are much stricter.
Okay.
More strict.
More
Um,
sure.
I wish that was a thing here.
Yeah.
Like Fleur de Force and Jamie Genevieve are like two of the main people I watch, and they always have to say like if something was gifted, if it's an ad, if it's a
Yeah.
partnership, if they were sent the product. I wish that those rules existed in the US, but people would like call it socialism and freak out.
Yeah, the closest, this is so ridiculous, but I remember when the Kat Von D beauty was before Kat left, she had her Go Big or Go Home mascara come out and she sent it to influencers and it was as if we were supposed to know that hashtag Go Big or Go Home meant it was an ad.
But in the UK, they had to say it was an ad, which is why I stopped following Helen Anderson because I was like, are
Yeah.
you kidding me? Like, even in the midst of all of this, like, she's
Well,
literally married to a man with a swastika front and center on his neck.
yeah.
And you're like, I don't care. The mascara is fine. No,
Patrick
no.
Starr got it and raved about it too, so he was paid to do that, which I thought was crazy. Speaking of, he just released One Size Beauty.
Yeah, which is like makeup remover.
So there's also an eyeshadow palette now. It has like pop blue. I feel like I have a lot of thoughts on his brand that are all conflicting because on the one hand, it doesn't feel like merch. It feels a lot more professional. But on the other hand, it feels very dated and not very in touch with like what's going on right now with makeup.
It feels like mid 2000s Revlon.
Yeah, it feels more coordinated. It has more of like a
Well, it's
punch
more like
to it.
because all of the packaging is like red and it feels
Yeah,
very
but like the
oh
one
man, what's her
size.
name? Kate Moss. Didn't she had like a Revlon thing?
Oh yeah.
It feels like if you told me like this is a 10-year-old product from when Kate Moss collabed with Revlon, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, his doesn't feel like merch, but it doesn't. It feels like a weirder version of Flower Beauty where like Flower Beauty looks like a drugstore brand. Like you find it in Ulta, Walmart, Target, and go, yeah, okay, sure. That makes sense. It looks like the rest of the stuff that's here. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure some of it's good quality. One Size kind of has that same feel where like if I saw it in a drugstore, I'd be like, yeah, okay, sure. It looks like a brand that somebody made. It doesn't look
It
like,
definitely doesn't look like it should be at Sephora.
yeah. But yeah,
Also,
his feel more authentic. It's just not it.
I don't feel like it matches my perception of Patrick Starr.
The red packaging and the one size aspect of it feels right because when I picture Patrick Starr, I picture like a vibrant,
I like the
smiling.
name. I like the one size idea.
Was I saying one size or one star?
It's one size.
I know. I think I was saying one star.
Oh no, I think you said one size.
Okay.
I don't feel like One Size by Patrick Starr liquid eyeshadows should be on par with the price of Natasha Denona liquid eyeshadows.
No, for sure, no.
They're 22. How much are the Natasha Denona ones?
26 or 27.
Okay, so Natasha Denona are 28 for 2.5
Oh my
milliliters.
God.
Okay, actually, these are 22 for 4 milliliters. So it's a lot more product and it's cheaper. Fine. Still, I don't love it.
Yeah, so I think, in summary, celebrity and influencer brands are hit or miss. And at the end of the day, you kind of just have to like sniff out who might be doing it for good reasons and who might be doing it for like totally terrible reasons.
Yeah.
And kind of just go with like, does this match my style, and not just buy it because it's Kylie Jenner or, you know, Kim Kardashian.
I never would have thought that like Fenty. If you had told me a couple years ago that I would own and enjoy products from Selena Gomez and Rihanna, I would not have believed you.
Yeah.
And then that Lady Gaga would have fucked it up.
Unbelievable.
I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's, here comes our educated consumerism. Just like when you're picking out eyeshadow, you have to kind of dissociate from the brand and just look at the colors and figure out if it's something that like matches your style, because don't just buy Manny MUA's palette because it's Manny MUA's palette. Even if the packaging's pretty, look at the color story inside.
Yeah, some of his packaging is actually really nice, but then if you look at the colors, it's like there's a dozen weird variations of purple and like 4 olive greens, and that point, just go on Makeup Geek and buy like a single purple and a single green and you'll be fine.
I root for his releases every time because the packaging is so gorgeous that I want the inside to match it, and just so close every time.
I feel like the expertise is always very, or rather the lack of expertise is immediately noticeable.
Yeah.
And I think that extends to Jaclyn Hill, to Lady Gaga, to Dominique, to Patrick Starr. Like maybe they're really good at what they do, but they don't know how to make a makeup line.
And that's not to say that Rihanna is necessarily good at it. She might just know how to hire the right people.
That counts.
Yeah.
But I also feel like having a strong perspective, a strong point of view in how you're approaching your brand does matter. Because there's a lot of celebrity makeup brands that like we don't really care about. But Linda Hallberg, like that one stands out.
Mm-hmm.
Pat McGrath, for better or for worse, stands out.
For sure. Yeah, I think definitely knowing your strengths and being able to call on someone else to make a color palette for you, if you don't have like the exact, like maybe Rihanna has great ideas and she lays them out and someone else goes, okay, here's how we're going to actually do this. But then she like, they bounce back and forth and finally they come together and something, you know, amazing is in front of her. That I think goes just as far as being able to do it yourself, or, you know, not recognizing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think like whoever is behind it has to be the one calling all the shots for it to be authentic.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know if Victoria Beckham is the one, but she seems like a very type A. I think she and I would get along. I'm sure she's the one calling the shots.
Yeah.
On her brand. I would have loved to try it, but man, it's so expensive.
You know, I feel like every once in a while there's something that kind of looks good to me, but it's really expensive.
Yeah, it's like extortion.
But it makes sense.
I want to mention one more on the side of the good things that we've seen is small collaborations where a brand will pick either one product or one shade of a product to work with an influencer or celebrity. I feel like that's way more reasonable, sustainable, accessible for all, appealing to all, and like generally creates a lot less waste and saturation. Okay. The example that I was thinking of was Smashbox when they came out with their, what are they actually called? Hold on, I have one. The Always On liquid lipsticks.
You have it?
I don't have the collab one, but I have a color. There's a YouTuber named Lily Singh who I think she maybe is going to be hosting a late night show. Am I making that up?
She was a guest host on a dessert show I was watching.
I quite like her. But Smashbox did one color with her when they were launching the always on liquid lipsticks. And it's like this deep red, and it's called Boss. I think it's BAWSE, which is like very on brand for Lily. And like it made sense for Smashbox. They got the celebrity collab. They got this influencer that like probably appealed to a bunch of people who maybe weren't regularly shopping at Sephora. But it was also like just a good red that anybody could use.
And you know what? I think that also, because we're going to use Smashbox as an example of this again, they did a really big collection with, what's her name? Vlada MUA?
Yeah. No, not Petrosian. That's just
she does incredible lip art. She does like incredible like Swarovski crystal lip art, like really elaborate things, and it's gorgeous. But they did like an entire collection with her where they had like highlighters, lip glosses.
Haggerty.
Yes. And a lot of that stuff ended up going on like sale, being at Marshall's and TJ Maxx. So I think you have a really good point where if you just release, I love it. If you just
lip art is incredible, but
yeah, releasing 3 or 4 things is like way too many things for your average fan to buy. Because now you're kind of just asking for a lot from people to be like, well, I released the whole collection. Are you going to buy the whole thing? It's like, no, I'm going to buy the gloss.
Yeah, and I think, like, as impressed as I am with this foundation from Selena Gomez for Rare Beauty, the initial launch is huge. There's so much product. I think other than bronzer and eyeshadow and mascara, like, there's otherwise a complete face of makeup.
Bronzer?
Huh?
There's no bronzer?
There's no bronzer, but there's dewy and matte liquid blushes.
Okay.
And there's liquid highlighters, there's eyeliner, there's brow product, there's foundation, there's concealer. Huh?
She just released an eyeshadow palette too.
She did?
Yeah, I think I saw it teased on Trend Mood.
Like, it's just a lot.
It is a lot. But that's different than like an influencer coming up with a collab with a brand and releasing like 8 things and being like, buy it all because you love me. And like,
that's true.
This is more of a brand, and it's like, hey, it's here if you want it kind of thing.
I have to admit, part of the reason that I even bought anything from Rare Beauty in the first place is because that like accessibility for people with mobility issues or with other like physical disabilities, that went into the thought process for the packaging and for how the products were designed. Like, that's something that I wanted to support the creation of and be able to talk about, because I, to some extent, also exist within the disability community, and I have friends in that community. Not that you like need to know people to care about it, but like, it impacts a lot of people, and it's not a subject that we talk about enough. And the other part of that is with Rare Beauty, she also started what's called the Rare Impact Fund. I think she's trying to put like $100 million into mental health over the next 10 years. Like, that feels legit. That feels authentic. That makes sense for what I know about Selena Gomez, who struggles with lupus, who is has shared that she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Those things make sense. That feels more authentic to me. And then that makes me want to support them because I know that it's doing good. Yeah. And it feels like merch, and there's no unique perspective. And other than cute packaging, you're not bringing any function to market or like filling any gaps.
I agree.
I'm not usually on board for those collections.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that is kind of what we want to talk about just in general, you know, talking about celebrity and influencer brands and what really makes a brand stand out as opposed to like what makes it not. So yeah, tell them, have you bought any celebrity or influencer brands or collaborations?
I definitely have. Though maybe not, I don't know. Have you bought anything that was like a collab with a YouTuber? Just kidding. Yes, I have. I absolutely have. I have MAC's Samantha Ravindal lipstick, and I have MAC's Jamie Genevieve lipstick, and I was really pissed that I couldn't get my hand on MAC's Fleur de Force lipstick.
I don't think I have.
You tell us, do you like those collabs? Do you buy them? Do you like celebrity makeup lines? Do you like YouTuber and like beauty influencer makeup lines? Tell us what you're buying and what you're definitely not buying. And if there's something on your wish list. And sorry, there's like birds fighting in my backyard.
I just discovered a bee's nest outside my window and I can't stop staring at it. So
I think blue jays are like very territorial. And I think there are two that like want this tree in my backyard.
oh well, only one can have it. So
yeah, this guy's sitting on the perch and he's like, don't at me. This is my tree now. Anyway, is that all of our things for today?
I think that's everything.
I think it's everything. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Beauty Birds Podcast and like and comment and engage with content because that helps us a lot and also like tells us if you like what we're doing. If you do like what we're doing, you could also consider supporting us on Patreon. That would be really lovely. Patreon.com/beautybirds. We have a blog post that corresponds with every episode on our website at beautybirdspodcast.com, where you can also get to our Instagram and Patreon from there, and all of the links for all the different ways you can watch and listen to us and this episode and past episodes. So participate in things because we really appreciate it.
All right.
And do your makeup, wash your hands first and then do your makeup. Stay safe, and we'll see y'all next week.